Hi, and welcome to another episode of Rate That Album, the back and forth podcast where we take albums and talk about them and do that kind of thing. Wow, I'm totally butchering this intro, aren't I, Joe?
Goddamn right you are.
You know why I'm butchering this album, this beginning? Because my brain hurts from the album that we did. We did Tommy. The Who's Tommy, but not the music, not the normal album. We did the album from the movie, like the movie version. Joe, they did two different versions for this. Why did they do this?
Yeah, neither of them are any good. I didn't like. So here's my story. With
Please.
Tommy, I was in high school, and I was really into The Wall and that, and somebody said, hey, if you really like the Wall, you should listen to the album that kind of made that actually, a thing that they could do. You'll love Tommy by The Who. And I was like, okay. So I went and bought it, and I played it, and I said, I hate this album. I don't know why somebody would say I would like it. I can see from the themes and the story that, it paved the way for The Wall. But the difference is The Wall I enjoy listening to, and Tommy I did not. And then you, Paul, you just found another version of Tommy that's even worse than the original.
Oh, this is so bad. So let's talk a little bit about that, because Tommy the album, which is a concept album, came out in 1969.
Not just a concept album, it's a rock opera.
It is. It's a total rock opera. Yeah, and it's probably one of the, I would say, one of the proto rock operas. Wouldn't you agree with me on that?
Yeah.
I mean, this is the rock opera that started it all, right?
Yeah.
And the theme of Tommy, the big difference, because I love discussing kind of The Wall in this, and it gives us a little bit of time to kind of get into it before we get into the shit, because we're going to get into the shit. I really hurt myself with this one, Joe.
Yeah, you really punched us in the dick with this one, Paul.
I really did. I really did.
I mean, I couldn't believe you found an album worse than Saint Anger.
Dude, I would take Saint Anger over this. Like, if you're gonna put me on a desert island and say you gotta listen to Tommy the movie, the motion picture version, or Saint Anger, I'd take Saint Anger. This is rough. So the big difference is, and I think why Tommy needed to happen. Like, Tommy's important in terms of history, because it really was the beginning of people that would do like rock operas and concept albums and things of that nature, and really take it to the next level. The problem with Tommy is where The Wall, there's a lot of different themes. There's more of a cohesive story, which says something about it when you're saying The Wall is more cohesive. But musically, it's more interesting. There's a lot more to it, where Tommy starts with this overture. And that overture has all kind of the beats and everything that's set up for the entire album. So everything starts to kind of sound the same. And not to say that it didn't in The Wall, but there was enough difference there to break it up, where with Tommy, they really wanted to stick to these, these simplistic music notes and beats and riffs. Does that make sense what I'm saying there?
Yeah, I mean, you just explained an overture.
Well, yeah, no, but I understand. I just explained what an overture.
You said it was an overture, then you went deep into the explanation of an overture, without saying that was the explanation of an overture. Everybody, what Paul just explained is what they call in classical music an overture.
And I'm sorry, this album broke. Okay, not only did I listen to the album, I watched the movie. And this is the thing
bad.
that the movie is so bad. And here's the thing. The music on the movie is different than the shit that's on the fucking motion picture album.
And that's what I thought, because I remember watching the movie and I remember, and this could just be me misremembering it, but I remember Elton John's Pinball Wizard sounding a lot better. But then when I was listening to this on Spotify, it sounded so dull, like there's no edges to it, which in the movie I felt like there was.
Yes, no, you're right. You're right. Every song is different in the movie than it is on the motion picture. So what that tells me, Joe, is that Pete Townsend wasn't happy with the music that was in the movie. So when it came to doing the music, the music of the movie, he redid it and resampled it and re-edited it to make it what he wanted to be. And this was it. Like, what the shit?
Yeah. The problem with doing that, with what he did, is that it took away, because the way this is produced, it's very 70s and almost borderline disco-ish at times.
Mm-hmm.
In that disco production. So it dulled the edges of what made the Who, because they are not known for dull edges. They're known for sharp guitar attacks, crazy drumming, crazy bass playing, and Roger Daltrey's, vocals. And these get all. If the Who is a sharp knife, this is a dull butter knife version of the Who.
Yeah, no, completely agree with you. And I think that's a wonderful way of putting it, because the things with this is that's part of why I actually like Tommy, the album itself. I personally like Tommy. Just because I like Robert Daltrey's voice. I like, as you talk about, that sharpness. There are things to it that are there, like, rock. And I'm listening to this, and it's like, no. And in the movie, the scene I wish you could see for the song "I Wish You Could See My Woman," done by Eric Clapton, is a little bit longer and has a better Clapton, and it has, the Who's playing with him, and it's edgier, it's rockier, it's better. And the version that's on the album is dull, and like Clapton seems kind of bored, and it cuts out some of his solos that he does, and kind of that everything that was in the movie version of it is put onto this album, but it's tamer. And that's the thing with every single track.
That is such a weird, it's a weird thing. Again, it's the Who, but like they're trying to sound like 1980s. Yes, I don't understand. And then, so here I'm looking at the Wikipedia entry, and I'm looking at, no wonder it doesn't sound as, because it's like the Who are barely on any of these tracks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're 1,000% correct. Yeah.
Like, it's overdubbed by all these weirdos. Like, the bass tracks, I guess, is the core of the band, but like the overdubs and the additions are all like by these chuckleheads. Like, who are these people?
Yeah, it's not. I don't know. I don't know who these people are who were doing these type of things. Like, it's very. I mean, they composed it, but then they did these things and they brought these people in, and
for an album that was already recorded in the 60s, then re-recorded for the movie, for them to re-record it or remix it or whatever for the physical release.
Right. So there's like 3 versions of Tommy. There's 3 versions of it. There's 3 fucking versions of this album. And arguably, I mean, when you go back, because I had to, when I was listening to it, I went back and listened to the original Tommy because I was just missing some of it. And oh God, okay. Let's dig into what is Tommy. So the original Tommy was set at the end of World War I. The new version or the from the movie, it's set at the end of World War II, to make it more modern. And it basically is about, I know. I mean,
yeah, it's just we'll add a couple. We'll add 5 years to that one, huh?
yeah, kind of. And it's about, the album is about this Captain Walker and his wife, who are together. She gets knocked up. He goes off to war. They believe he dies in the war. She meets up with this other guy, Frank, who's a terrible person. And she, Tommy is the child of Captain Walker and this woman who in the movie, she goes by Nora. And Captain Walker comes back one night and they kill him. Frank and Nora kill him. And Tommy saw it. And so they basically berate him to the point where, and the trauma of it, and them, telling him it never happened and this or that, puts him in this state of being deaf, dumb, and blind. And then it's all about like his misadventures of being deaf, dumb, and blind, and like what people are doing to him and what they're trying to do to get his sight back. And then he does, and because he was this, like the foresight in this, I don't remember, Joe, if there was actual pinball tournaments back in the day and people won a bunch of fucking money from pinball, but it reminds me now of Twitch and speed running, that people are making all this money from video gaming these days. So maybe it happened.
I'm just, so all of this actually happened to Pete Townsend, right? Like he went deaf, dumb, and blind.
Dude, are we going there already? So yeah, Pete Townsend, basically, this was his way of coping with his supposed abuse, right? So where the lines of The Wall deals a lot with what Waters was going through and some of his upbringing and people around him, was Pete Townsend's way of basically putting on his own abuse, as he was physically, mentally, and sexually abused in his childhood, right? So all this culminates with Tommy miraculously getting everything back because they break a mirror, and that's in the song "Break the Mirror." And because he has all this, now he's this messiah, and this gets in the Townsend's hatred of religion, and it's all over this album. Like, you can totally tell that this is a very anti-religious album. And Tommy is now he's putting up camps and having people come in and live with him, and he, be like me, give up all this stuff. And then at the end of it,
a cult leader. He's basically Charles Manson.
He's basically a cult leader, and at the end, everyone revolts against him, seeing him as the fraud that he is.
Well, he is a fraud because he was faking this deaf, dumb, and blindness thing the whole time. He could see it the whole time. He was just a liar.
Well, and
I think that does a disservice to the actual deaf, dumb, and blind people out there, because this movie and album just made everybody assume they were faking it.
Damn you, Pete Townsend. Damn you. And yes, that's alluded to in the song There's a Doctor, and where it's basically the doctor saying he's responding to everything. He can hear, he's just choosing not to hear. He can see, he's choosing not to see. Which
he could do all that. He's just refusing to respond.
Yes, and
it's basically like a plot from Seinfeld. Like if George was like, "I'm not going to respond to anybody anymore."
So Seinfeld ripped off Tommy's the Who's Tommy. Yeah, so that's the album in a nutshell, Joe. And I will say one thing that the soundtrack has going for it versus the original album is that it is laid out better. It's the story is laid out better. Certain tracks are moved around to have it make more sense in light of what the story they're trying to tell. That is one thing I will say about Tommy, is that you listen to it and there's going to be parts of it where you're going to go, huh? I never once, and I know people talk about The Wall being this confusing, cerebral album. It made sense to me. I don't know about you. Like The Wall made sense to me, what was being told.
Yeah, I was never confused by the storyline of The Wall.
Yeah, and there's parts here with Tommy when it's the actual album that isn't really there. Like you would need liner notes to know kind of, okay, so this is the story they're telling, this is what's happening here. One thing they will say with, again, I already said it, but it's laid out better with this thing.
Well, third time's a charm, Paul.
Yeah, there we go. All right, let's talk about who they had doing the voicing on this fucking thing. So the main vocals are done by Anne Margaret, Oliver Reed, and Robert Daltrey. Now, Robert Daltrey, fine, perfect. You know what? He should be there. He is Tommy. He's singing. He's there. Okay. Rocky Horror Picture Show came out the same year. This desperately needed Meatloaf. I've never said that in my life. This album needed more Meatloaf and less Oliver Reed. Oliver Reed he's an interesting feller. He was kind of, I mean, he's the right pick for it because he was kind of this crazy guy in his time. Like his escapades outside of the film world overshadowed what he did in the film world, if that made sense. Like he was this really burly guy that just, was known for being an excessive drunk and a problem and causing lots of problems on set and off set. And that's why a lot of people I don't think know of Oliver Reed. Do you know much about Oliver Reed?
Nope.
That's exactly why. Anne Margaret, everyone, I think our generation knows her from Grumpy Old Men.
Yeah.
But she was kind of a 70s sex pot and 60s and 70s sex pot and got a lot of roles and, kind of was this exuded her femininity. But my God, can she know Susan Sarandon? Like we needed Susan Sarandon and we needed Meatloaf. Like I wish the Who would have waited a year and waited till 1976 to do this and gotten Meatloaf and Susan Sarandon because I could handle it. I listened to this album well over 6 times, Joe. Well over 6 times in preparation for this fucking podcast. And I hate Anne Margaret's voice.
I listened to it once and that was enough. I wouldn't listen to it again. I think I even told you if I listened to this another time, I'd probably kill myself.
And I think I told you, to quote myself, that music from the Elder was an oasis in the desert of the abortion clinic dumpster fires that is the Who soundtrack.
Yeah. Going back to The Wall, the smart thing they did, that Floyd did opposed to The Who, is they just had one new vocalist with Bob Geldof, and only he does 2 songs. The rest is Floyd. You don't have these guest musicians, and they're different versions in that movie too, but it works a lot better.
It does, and I think, as you talked about, what's the big difference there? Well, Floyd did. I mean, the Who didn't do the tracks for the album. They did in the movie, but they didn't in the album, and that's apparent. Well,
I think they did the basic tracks, but you look at that list, and it's just like a lot of overdubs and other drums and guitars, and it's just like, why? Like, you have Keith Moon.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you have another fucking drummer? He is arguably one of the greatest drummers of all time.
Yeah, he really is.
Like, it's not just that he was fast; he could do different shit.
Yeah, absolutely. No, he was a great drummer, and you got this other guy that's doing a lot of the drums for it. And at one track on Mother and Son, Pete Townsend does everything. He does everything. But yeah, no, I mean, okay, let's talk about Pinball Wizard. You have Elton John doing the lead vocals. You have Davy Johnstone who doing the guitar. You have Dee Murray doing bass, Nigel Olsson doing the drums, and Ray Cooper doing the percussion. That is literally Elton John's band. That is Elton John's band.
Yeah, and I have a feeling it sounded better in the movie. I remember it sounding better in the movie, but on this, it fell so flat. Like it came on and I didn't even realize it was Pinball Wizard.
It's not. No, it's great. It's way better in the movie. It is way better in the movie, and you see the Who playing with Eric Clapton, and you could tell it's them. And the drum and everything is more interesting. Not to say that it's not with Elton John's band, but this felt phoned in. It felt like, I have a feeling that they brought them back in and said, here, we're gonna record this version. And Elton John was like, whatever, one take. Okay, guys, we're done.
We already did this, Pete.
Yeah, we already did this. It
sounded great in the movie. No. We got to make it sound more stupid.
Right. It's and that's that's what it is. It's more stupid. I mean, I could get some of it, like, in the early on when the children were singing and kind of doing those type of things. I could get where that wouldn't translate well, but at the same time, it's the music from the motion picture. That's what is supposed to be there. Again, you re-recorded these songs for a movie and then didn't feel that they were up to snuff to put them on the fucking album, so you re-recorded it? Like, that's weird. That's weird.
Yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense, Paul.
No, well, and what doesn't help is the director of the movie, Ken Russell, who, let's put it this way, he was the director, he wrote the screenplay, he produced it, so that's kind of his thing. Like, this was his brainchild, was to make this movie. It's this album, the movie. He admitted that he didn't like the music from the album to begin with. He disliked.
Me too, brother. Me too.
He disliked it, but he liked the theme of it, so that's why he wanted to put it to film. But he didn't like it. And that, now what's interesting to me is that they said that several scripts were made for it. There's no speaking in the movie. Like, what do you mean there were several scripts done? It's literal tracks from the album. I mean, that's all it is.
You just need a storyboard at that point. You don't need
you don't need a fucking script. Like, what the shit? And, so there are a couple of tracks that are added, which, take it or leave it, is, one of those things, but it makes the story more cohesive, in that regards. But at the end of the day, why would you do this? It was all session musicians and just terrible. Just what the shit?
Yeah, this was bad. It all just kind of blended in together to me, and it was unrelentingly boring. And then you have like these auto-tune narrator things by Townsend, and auto-tune singing by probably this Oliver Reed guy. I don't know. There was a male vocalist who was just singing all the wrong notes, and
that's Oliver Reed. That's Oliver Reed.
Oh yeah. God, man. Yeah. Yep. I was just like, holy fuck.
Well, and so once again, they changed the way the film was and the album was, but there was one point where I was listening to it because I hadn't watched the movie in a long time, and Margaret is like, she's one part, she's like, like, she's like not even trying, and I was like, whoa, like, she's fucking done. Like, she does not want to be in the studio anymore. And then you watch the movie, and it's where it was with her and what she was doing in the movie. And I'm going, why? Okay, you already changed all this. Why would you have her keep that? Like, why not have it be, you have time now, you could actually have it be done, or you could even bring in another female vocalist. You've already fucking changed it. So what tells me, again, could you imagine signing up for this fucking shit show of a movie, recording these songs, and then being brought back into a studio after the fucking movie's done and having to re-record it? Like, what? And leave in some of the fucking blurps and the mistakes and shit. Like, what the fuck, Joe? What the fuck?
Yeah. Everything about it was very questionable.
The whole thing is a big fucking problem. Tina Turner is boring, Joe.
Yeah, and that seems like it should be impossible.
Right. And that's the thing. They bring in a lot of, people. They brought in, Elton John. They brought in Tina Turner. They brought in Eric Clapton. Eric Clapton is bored. Tina Turner is bored. Elton John is bored.
Let's Eric Clapton's always bored.
Well,
but he's not being racist and a giant piece of shit,
Well, he is called Slowhand. I know you don't like him. He's not great. He's not great. He was for his time, but man, he became something, didn't he?
Well, yeah. That's another tirade.
You know who we should not have singing? Jack Nicholson, Joe.
Yeah.
Jack Nicholson is the Doctor. Why? Okay. When people do musicals, because that's what this is, it's a musical. It is. You bring in people who can sing. You can bring in people who can do things. And if you're gonna rechange the album, bring in people who can do it. You know what I'm pissed about, Joe? This movie and Margaret won Best Actress, won a Golden Globe Best Actress in a motion picture, comedy, or musical for this fucking movie.
Just proof there was way too much cocaine in the 70s.
It must have been a terrible year for movies, because she was also up for Best Actress, nominated for Best Actress in the Academy Awards
what year
for
was
this movie. This was 1975, Joe. 1975.
Yeah, there's just Dog Day Afternoon, Monty Python and the Holy Grail, Shampoo. Like, what?
Yep, she was nominated.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Jaws, Barry Lyndon.
She was nominated for Best Actress.
Rollerball.
Rollerball wasn't going to get nominated for anything.
Well, it has more right to be than this shit.
Absolutely, it does. And it got nominated for Best Original Song or Adaptation Score in 1975. That's a problem. In the Golden Globes, Robert Daltrey got nominated for Most Promising Newcomer. Most Promising Newcomer. He was never going to do another movie again.
Well, let's slow your roll there. He played Hugh Fitzcairn in the Highlander series.
Holy shit, he did. Oh, I forgot that. Well, there you go. He should have won it just because years later he'd be on Highlander the series with Adrian Paul.
Goddamn right. That was a great show.
It was a great show. That's thanks for making me think of anything better than this. But
think of that last Highlander movie, and it might be neck and neck.
The Source, yeah, that was a terrible movie. Again, if I was gonna have to watch The Source or watch Tommy the movie, I'm gonna take The Source. I'm sorry, I'm gonna take The Source. There's so much weird shit in this, and now, let's. I'm gonna quote Old Dirty Bastard, because we both love ODB. Tommy was a great film. A blind deaf kid who could play pinball. What a very great idea. Now, this I gotta talk about what other people said about it. Pete Siebert of AllMovie gave the film 4 stars and described it as continuously watchable, but the film version of Tommy sacrifices the fragile emotional core of Pete Townshend's work for grandiose spectacle. The shit? Did we watch 2 different things? Did we listen to 2 different albums?
Yeah, I think.
How many drugs were people on in 1975?
Again, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. The whole cast. Nurse Ratched should have been nominated over Anne Margaret.
Oh my God. Yeah, she should have. Robert Ebert gave the film 3 out of 4 stars and praised Anne Margaret for, quote, simply great as Tommy's mother, end quote. No. She looks bored and miserable the whole movie. And it's so, I mean, the camp, it's so campy. It's not, and they even said it's so, it was supposed to be filmed satirically, but it gets sucked up into its own ass. And I will say there's things that that Pink Floyd borrowed from this movie, right? Like the crosses and the cartoons and things like that. But I feel like fucking, knowing what Pink Floyd is, they looked at this and went, yeah, we could do this 100 times better. So they did. Charles Champion of the LA Times called the film an overwhelming, thunderous, almost continuously astonishing achievement, coherent and consistent from first frames to last. No.
You know what was more entertaining on video than this was watching the Live Aid Led Zeppelin review.
Oh my God.
At least I could get some joy out of that. There is no joy in the Tommy movie.
There's no joy in this version of it. I mean, I'm listening, like, there's a song called Christmas, and it's one of my favorite tracks actually on the album, because Robert Daltrey is really, he's just into it, and he's got a great rock voice. I know the Who's whatever, but Roger Daltrey has a really great voice for rock. And to hear the flattened, boring tone of Anne Margaret and Oliver Reed doing this made me angry. It made me angry. In the beginning of the album, there's a girl that sings on the track "It's a Boy," and I was like, why wasn't she singing the whole goddamn movie? Like, why wasn't she doing it? Because Anne Margaret has that vibrato, right? That's where, and now people, I mean, I don't know if it was this, I think it was the style at the time, but like when I was in choir and things like that, like that's something they try to teach you not to do, was like not holding the note, like, going, and they're like, no, like that's not the proper way to sing. And Anne Margaret's doing it the whole goddamn thing, like she's never holding a note. And Oliver Reed can't find a fucking tune in a bucket.
Yeah, this was the most jarring. That's the only thing that kind of like got me back into the album, was like, what the shit is this? Where did this guy come from? Who are you?
I mean, Keith Moon sings on the album, and I went, he should have been fucking the Uncle Frank instead of Uncle Ernie. And there is some really uncomfortableness on this album. Let's dig into the Who a little bit. We touched upon it with earlier. Pete Townsend got busted for child porn, right? Let's just call it out right there, Joe.
What?
Is this news to you, sir?
He was doing research for a book, Paul.
Yeah, no, and then that was the original thing. He was doing research for a book, and then it was something else. He later said that he was searching for, I think, videos or something like that. Could have had him. I don't remember. Then he said it was for some other reason, like in a Fox article. Point is, he got a fucking slap on the wrist. He got a slap on the wrist. He basically had paid a fine and was put on a sex offender registry for 5 years. And in this thing, there's this there's the tracks Cousin Kevin and Fiddle About,
Yeah.
which are uncomfortable.
Well, that's kind of based off his own experiences as a child, right? I mean,
correct.
So like that, you know, it's not like they're glamorizing it. It's him exercising his demons, I guess.
Yes.
Doesn't really make for a good song, but whatever.
No, it doesn't make for a good song. It doesn't make for good cinema. And
what Keith Moon getting in the bed with Tommy didn't.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, and that's the thing. It's Keith Moon that's playing the molester. That's,
to be fair, he probably had no idea he was even in the movie. He was probably so drunk.
Oh, he's hammered. But again, he's better than Oliver Reed. You know, so I mean, those things are there. And then, but the Acid Queen, going back to Tina Turner. Tina Turner is amazing. Like we both agree with this. Tina Turner is fucking amazing. And in the movie version, it's good. On this
the Acid Queen.
The Acid Queen. Yeah, where she plays the Acid Queen. That's a weird scene.
Yeah, it's about Tommy taking acid and being able to see again, I guess.
And it's also implied that she rails him, like that she fucks him during the
she raw dogs him, huh?
Yeah, she raw dogs him while he's on acid. Which is placated in the movie by her spinning around and becoming an Iron Maiden that pumps him full of needles. So I think that's supposed to be implied that he's inside of her while on drugs. I think that's what the symbology there. I think it was kind of blatant. And it's the album though is she's bored. She's bored.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like looking forward when the Acid Queen came on, and again, I was like halfway through, I was like, oh shit, Tina Turner's singing. Oh fuck.
Yeah, you couldn't even tell. So, there's
this is like one of those things where like it's hard to find a positive. I mean, I could probably wing it, like, you know, they're bored, but at least it's like kind of the one thing I'll say for it is I don't have to listen to it again is the highlight. So yeah, that's my positive. I'll never have to listen to this again.
And I picked this album, and I'm the one that's more upset than you. The one positive I will say is that it makes the story more sensical. Like if you were really into Tommy, not because of the music, but because you wanted to have the concept album and understand the story of Tommy, which I don't understand why you would. I just don't get it. This brings out some tracks. This makes it more coherent as a story. But the presentation ruins it.
Yeah. I will say Daltrey, at least, he still does a good job on some of these tracks.
Yes.
That'll be the positive is Roger Daltrey. I mean, even like when he seems like he's phoning it in. There's tracks he does seem like that.
Absolutely.
But like when he does like I'm Free and, See Me, Feel Me, and Listening to You, like it at least has a little bounce to it, like that he brings to it.
Yeah.
Which the backing tracks really don't, except unlike the studio version, where there's again that Who energy that this album decided to neuter.
Yeah, which again, I think this would have been better, and I just think that Pete Townsend didn't want to redo it. I really think that's part of it. He's like, I already recorded this once. I don't want to do it again. And I feel like Daltrey's same thing was, I sang these songs fucking on the album and in the movie, and now you want me to do it again? Like,
yeah, like here's so this album is Tommy in the movie, and Pete Townsend is Uncle Ernie. And he's just diddling this album all fucked up.
Oh, God damn it. It's so dark. We're so dark. We're so edgy. We're edgelords. But yeah, no, absolutely. No, they diddled this album in the fucking into a fucking shit show. Yeah. So it's just
So, at least the adultery parts are good, but the rest is, oh God, like we've just gone over why it sucks. It's
it's bad. Joe, would you recommend this album?
No, I'd recommend you kill it with fire.
Again, I'm pissed at myself for picking this album. I forgot how bad it was. Like
it's an interesting curio, I guess, in music because this album, I don't know anybody who owns it. Like I own regular Tommy. I'm not a fan of it. Like there's some tracks on it I like, but I don't think I've ever met anybody who's owned this version.
No. I was surprised it was on anything other than YouTube. Like this tells me that's still in print. That it's we were able to find it on our normal
Imagine
sites,
when
right?
we were in high school and one of our buddies were like, "Hey, I bought Tommy," and like they bought this. They'd probably hate music for the rest of their life.
Oh God, I couldn't imagine. I bet that's the people who bought it. People that were mistaking it for the original Tommy album. And I like the original album. I do. I mean, I get it where it's boring in today's standards, right? It's a 1969 album.
It was boring in the 60s standards too, but that's just my opinion. I'm just not a fan of it. Like there's songs that are obviously I like, and those are the hits. I'm Free, Pinball Wizard, See Me, Feel Me. Not even like We're Not Gonna Take It. That's on the album, the Tommy album, not this, but in the album, it's much better.
Yes. Yeah. No, We're Not Gonna Take It. In this one was horrible. And again, they added to it like just fucking awful. Oh God damn it.
It's a masterpiece made out of shit.
It really is. Like this is how not to do it. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think Pink Floyd ever put out an official album of music from the movie.
No. And that's weird because there's a lot of different versions of songs on that I actually like better. Mother is a lot better, I think, in the movie version.
Yes,
it's more subdued and whatnot. Brick in the Wall 3 is much more angrier.
Yep. The fact that they included When the Tigers Broke Free.
Yeah, now that's on the final cut, though. Waters and Gilmer have put that on all the reissues of the final cut. So final cut has When the Tigers Broke Free on it.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, but they never officially released it. They're waiting till their money gets a little low. They'll just fucking put that thing out because the well's running dry for a lot of these legacy acts, Paul.
Oh God, damn! Can you
imagine if the Who was sitting on this gem to release?
No, they already
7 CD box.
No, they already
4K presentation of the movie.
Oh God, I bet it's out there somewhere. I bet it is. I bet it's out there somewhere. But no, I mean they blew their wad on this one. The Who did. So luckily we don't have this coming out on a box set somewhere. Like, hey, get music from the movie. Oh my God, no.
Stop! Yeah. Just stop!
Just
it's that scene from The Simpsons. Stop! He's already dead.
Like, yeah, there's no reason that this exists. There isn't. There's no reason why the movie exists. I mean, again, if anything, the movie is out there and it's good because it gave us The Wall. You could tell it gave us The Wall. Like, really, there's a lot of things that are blatantly ripped off. And that's okay because The Wall did it better.
Yeah, I mean, that's music. It's people seeing what other people do and build off of it. That's how it's always been.
Yeah, I can't in good conscience recommend this album to anyone anywhere. All right, Joe. We're caught up. We're all caught up.
Yeah.
So what are you doing on the Joe Down?
We are finishing up Halloween month. We're behind just work and stuff. So the next one we'll do is Willy's Wonderland. I forget what Brown's pick after. I'll check real quick. He sent it to me last night.
Ooh, we're getting an exclusive.
Yeah. Oh, we're doing Judge Dredd, the original.
Oh, the original.
yeah. I am the law. He sent me he's like, this is my next pick. And I'm like, I swear to God, we fucking did this one. He's like, no, you're thinking of Demolition Man. I'm like, oh, yeah.
With Wesley Snipes.
The Rob Schneider Stallone juggernaut of the 90s.
Yep, with the 3 seashells. That's the only thing people remember from that movie. 3 seashells and the Taco Bell placement.
Yeah. So that's what we got coming up. And then after that, I think I'm going to go with a movie called Roar.
Ooh,
I'll send you a clip. It's fucking weird. So we'll yeah. That's what we have coming up. What do you have going on, Paul?
I have this. I have this right now. That's all. It's just, with everything that's been going on, I've not been able to get things going for the Stranger Thing one. It will happen at some point. That's just going to be more of a passion project, I think, with Griffiny. That just happens as it happens. So that's it. I think this is the closest Cassette movie that we're gonna have in a long time. is this podcast right here, or this particular one with Tommy? Joe, what are we doing next week?
Paul, your punishment for this is you're taking another spin on the wheel of shit.
Oh God.
You got a choice between numbers 1 and 12. You already picked 7. So 7's off the table.
All right. Ooh, I picked 7. Do I go higher or lower?
Well, you fell almost right in the middle of that one.
Yeah, I did. All right, let's do 3.
3. Oh, we're in for a treat.
Oh, fuck.
We're doing... Paul, do you like Black Sabbath?
I do like Black Sabbath.
Well, you're not going to after we do their album Forbidden. Widely considered one of the worst albums of all time.
Oh no. We went from this to Forbidden. What are we doing to each other?
Oh yeah. Well, you gotta learn, Paul. You make me sit through an hour and a half shitty Who album. There's gonna be repercussions.
Yeah. All right. Oh God. Let me just look this up quick. Oh God. Is it on my thing? Maybe it's not in print. I can say I don't know. Ah. Fuck. It's Forbidden, huh?
Forbidden.
Is that with Ronnie James Dio or with Ozzy? Uh-oh. What? Oh God, 1995 it came out? No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. And I just saw it's not on Spotify, so I better make sure it's on YouTube so I can.
I don't think it's on YouTube Music. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Hang on. Let me check YouTube. Oh boy. Going to the YouTube. Well, huh? Yeah.
It was available when I put it on the list.
Well, I do see it on YouTube. Yep. Black Sabbath Forbidden, full album, 1995. Are we listening to the 1995 version or 2008 remaster?
Let's do the 95.
Oh, all right. We'll do the 95. Fantastic. Oh, boy. All right.
Here
I didn't even know
1995 full album. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know. I never knew this album came out. I
Yeah,
had
just
no.
a few years shy of their reunion with Ozzy.
Oh God.
I'm guessing this was one of the reasons why they had to reunite with Ozzy.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
All right.
Never.
This is gonna be a dumpster fire.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll teach you to make me sit through Tommy.
Well, someone on YouTube says I just ordered this album on vinyl. It's one of my favorite albums ever. I can't wait to get it.
That's probably the members of Black Sabbath trying to make some money.
Yeah. I mean, there's not a lot of views on this. Oh God. All right.
Only 256 views. It's in hot demand, Paul.
That's why it's not on Spotify or YouTube Music. Oh shit.
Yeah.
All right, Joe. Well, fuck. You want to take us out?
Yeah.
Joe Friend.